Welcome to Max Corner, and we're checking out a game called Starship Corporation. It is not available on Steam yet. It'll be available in about a month. So first things first, it is an alpha game. So what you're seeing here is early access, and it's like the earliest of the early access. So I'm expecting bugs. I'm not expecting everything to go perfect, and I'm sure there's going to be just some, this is the starting point. So I just want to put that out there initially. I have not played the game yet. One of the reasons I'm doing this, is for Let's Play, so that viewers of Max Corner can check it out and see if it's something they'd be interested in, or at least taking a look at. Two, I like to do these for the developer. I love indie developers. Indie devs I just love them. And I think it's helpful for them to see me go through a first-time playthrough, so they can kind of see what it's like going through the interface and stuff for the first time, because they've been working on this for about 3 years now just to get to this point. And so obviously they're very, very familiar with it. So without further ado, let's get started. This is to play it, but it's also just an information session as well. So the only thing I've gotten so far is F1 does show some help. So I get some tooltips and some help button. I do not think there is an interactive tutorial yet. If I find myself having to reference this too much, we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes first. So my name, as always, is going to be Little Mac. Little Mac. And company name, we're going to call it Max Space Enterprises. There we go. That should work. All right, looks like we got total assets, total liability. When we're agreeing to conform to Martian corporate tax law. All right, I don't know what those laws are, but I guess that's what we're doing. Boink. Okay, crew management. That's phase 2. Phase 1. So the gist. Okay, so Galaxy Map's not available yet. That's fine. Shipyard, and that's the thing is that's fine. It's as I said, it's an alpha game. So let's do phase 1 here. Assign a ship by choosing a contract, a matching fuselage, and creating the layout of each deck. All right. So let's see what we've got going on here. Now we're definitely going to be doing a new design. And let me see if I can get the volume down a little bit. I may not be able to. But I can't make sound. Alright. There we go. Oh wait, hopefully it's not too loud. Alrighty. And then back. So let's go through, I'm guessing the basic design tutorial probably would be a good one. So as you can see, you've got different things you can create. Now, my first time playing this for real, whenever it's released or it's getting close to release, is I'm a firm believer in, especially starting a new business or something, because I do have a bit of a business background, not a huge one, from my education prior to the Army. And I do know that you want to specialize. At least initially, when you're first doing something, you can go for the low end, the high end, or somewhere in the middle with the value segment. But when you're first starting out, you definitely want to specialize in whatever you do and not try and be too broad. So whatever we're getting into, for at least the short term, I'm thinking is the long haul. So let me do the tutorial first, though, and then we'll kind of talk through what we'll do next. All right, so we got basic design tutorial. Sure, just a shuttlecraft. I mean, heck, if we don't have a ship to shuttle up to our larger spaceship, we're probably in some trouble anyways. So fuselage cost, all right, design project. So the idea of this game, by the way, and I'll try and talk and do this at the same time, keep in mind I'm going through for the first time as well, is humanity has just basically gotten the very, very most basic technologies to do interstellar space travel, and in spirit of the modern world, they've leased the ability to do that to corporations. So there's basically companies vying to be the ones who are going to develop the ships to go do this for us. And you are one of those starter companies with lots of competition. All right. Sounds good. Error messages 10 and 12, I'm assuming because we haven't done stuff we need to do. All right, fuselage, little bug, mass. Yeah, I imagine if we just give them a hull of nothing with no money, they probably, if somebody actually buys it, we probably do have. Here's a hunk of metal. We call it a spaceship. Probably won't sell very well though. All right. All right. And I'm just gonna go through this. You can read through this as I go through as well. All right. So that's kind of the mission. That's what we're trying to do. Here's the progress. All right. All right. So I guess these are your constraints, essentially. Well, I'm trying to remember the army term for it. You have constraints and then you have opportunities. So constraints are essentially something that you can't go over. So a constraint would be, for example, within budget, within crew limit. That's a constraint. We can't go over that. Opportunities are opportunities to make something better than it already is. And obviously, you've got to manage within your constraints and you want to utilize your opportunities in such a way that it's cost effective, is the simplistic way of putting it, I guess. All right. All right, so we got 2 decks. Here's our shuttle, and my understanding is every ship is going to have its own like design, size, and layout, and you're going to get to design the whole thing, which is pretty cool. And I am suspecting, though I can't confirm, that how it's designed is going to, you need to be efficient in your design as well. It's not just a matter of buying the thing; you've also got to design it and position it correctly as well. All right. Now it's telling us we need to select the bridge. You can't have a spaceship without a bridge, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, let's put the well, I don't know actually. Come to think about it, it's a shuttle, right? Interesting. Now the bridge doesn't have to be in front. Yeah, let's put the bridge in the back. I'll pretend it's kind of, well, no, it's a flat ship. I was pretending we can make it put up, but no, it makes a lot more sense to put it in the front. Now I'm assuming this is deck 2. I can't say that definitively. All right, so it says the bridge needs power. I'm going to assume that that's next. All right, return to the build menu by pressing the space key or clicking on the blinking icon button. All right, I'll hit space. I really respect the fact a lot of alpha builds do not have a walkthrough tutorial yet. A lot of developers save that for last. I think it's really smart and good that it's actually done first. It helps do things like these Let's Plays in a way that's effective. All right, click and hold the left mouse button over the built room until it attaches to your mouse cursor. Then left click again to build it in a different spot. Okay, so go like this. So once you've placed it, it's not permanent, I guess, until you've actually built or designed it. Interesting. All right, right click deletes. Good to know. Control Z puts it back, just like any typical Microsoft Word program. Okay, so it's saying we're going to delete that one. And the one thing I'm not sure about yet is what deck we're on. So let's follow the tutorial and find out, I guess. All right. All right, well, he's going to have us build it in the... Oh, nope. I'm using the mouse wheel, and it's kind of messing up. So, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how I got it to turn, because I did get it to turn, but I'm not entirely sure how. Oh, right-click. Okay, right-click turns it. Awesome. All right, so you can have multiple power grids. That's interesting. I like that. Wow, 6 pilots to operate the bridge for one shuttle? Maybe it's me, but that seems a bit much for one shuttlecraft. Okay, but find out. Or maybe that's the minimum and maximum. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. So that's a luxury shuttle, though. You get on there, you got maybe 2 pilots and 4 stewardesses, and maybe that's what that is. I don't know. All right. All right, a computer core. All right, so we'll hit that button there, and then computer core. All right, I don't know what this is yet. Well, oh, no cooling, no energy. Okay, so it needs cooling, perhaps. So we'll put the computer core. So I guess we're going to need to make hallways to each of these things. So what it's not doing is you can't just do adjacent, which is fine. I'm assuming we're going to have to design it around hallways or something. All right. Oh, mark location at deck. Was that the mark location? Location? I hope so. All right. Mark location on deck B2. All right. The one thing that I must have missed or hasn't been explained yet is how to. There we go. Okay. See. All right. I'm just, Matt can be an idiot sometimes. But to the dev, I'm probably the perfect indicator of a large portion of your player base. So, just that little bit, maybe. Up to you. At the same time, yeah, maybe I'm at the lower end of it. So, who knows? All right. Let's see. So let's go back to computer core. We're on bridge. Oh. All right. Yeah. And then B1, B2. Where did it tell us to place it? Did I miss it? Okay, I thought it was somewhere around here. So we'll put it. Hopefully that's the right spot. Let's see. I'll go right here, I guess. Hopefully that's right. 6 pilots. Oof. Okay, I already went back too far. Okay, I did put it in the right place. Okay. One pilot in the bracket is optional. All right. All right. Engine room. Yeah, I guess you're not going to go very far without an engine. All right, so we're going back to deck B1, and it's saying we can only build it next to yellow areas. So I don't know if that means on top of or next, or it's got to be touching. So I don't know how that works, but regardless, I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually. So engine obviously taking up a lot of space, which makes plenty of sense. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I'm sure as you invest in technologies, you're going to be able to reduce engine size for similar output. All right. Please change the build to corridors, doors. Okay, so here's the core. I'm assuming you have to have all or almost all of these core modules. Some of these may be optional. Okay. Oh, cool. All right, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a hallway. It's just so there's the door. Nice. Cool. Page 2. Oh, got it. So we're gonna go down here. Landing gear. Yeah, it's funny how I'm glad they have all this stuff here, because if I were designing the ship from scratch, I'd be forgetting all sorts of stuff like that. All right. So, okay, landing gear here, I'm assuming, and probably here. So I guess you can only put the landing gear on the yellow spots too, but I'll go ahead and put it where he's suggesting at the moment. All right, the corridors and doors, and we need a lift. And if you hear that noise in the background, I've got a dog who's thinks one of her toys is her baby and likes to whine at it. All right. All right. So, sorry, that was distracting me too. Okay. Anyways, so lift. Let's do the lift. And where does it want us to put? All right, so this will be the lift connecting deck 1 and deck 2. And at the moment, there's nothing up there. So I'm sure we'll fix that shortly. Okay, got it. All right, crew quarters, pilot quarters. Recommended location on B2. All right. So I guess that's automatically going to fill us up. So that's how many we have to have, and the pilot quarter puts us in there. Got it. And I'm assuming this is current crew, and that's the maximum that this ship can possibly hold at the moment. We're going to need, I guess, technicians as well. So we'll probably get to that next. All right, needs to be supplied by fuel tanks. All right, so I'm going to kind of move a little faster. I think we got the hang of this now. So let's just kind of, I'll talk through as we do this, but I'll try and go a little bit faster until we come up to a new concept. So placing the fuel tanks. All right, just as anticipated, a technician crew quarters. All right, an air tank. So we don't suffocate to death. That probably good water, so we don't die of dehydration. That's important too. Probably some sort of, well, for a shuttle, I guess you probably don't need a water filtration system. And hey, how long are these shuttle rides? If it's just subspace or planet and back, well, yeah, I guess well, probably water's still probably pretty important. I suppose. I'm thinking too much like Star Trek. Life support, water treatment, and hatches. The orange ones are optional task. Life support, okay. Yeah, that probably is pretty good. I wonder if we are considered to have gravity or not. Okay. So I'm assuming this is, I don't know if it's required, but I'm assuming this indicates power. The green indicates price. This, I'm assuming, indicates number of personnel. And the minus or plus for cooling, I'm not sure of yet. So hopefully they'll kind of explain that. And then, voila. No cooling, no energy. Okay, so we're 10 out of 10, but it's in the red. Okay, I'm sure we'll probably walk through that later. All right. Water treatment. Let's see, do we nest in this? Well, all right. Water treatment on a shuttle. Sure, why not? All right. Boink. Okay, so this says water treatment needs medical personnel. That might be an optional thing. For a shuttle, and I understand the water tank, water treatment. You'd think that'd be for longer missions, but hey, maybe this is a long-distance space shuttle. Who knows? To get from because I'm right now just thinking planet to spaceship. Maybe it's designed to go further than that. All right. Tech facility, large generator. Well, yoink. There we go. All right. Coming along. All right. 31. All right. No energy. Yeah, we definitely need power. Light is without power supply. You can see how much power is needed in the room information panel. So, fuel tank needs 10. Where's the room information panel? Is that just this right here? It might just be this. Okay. So, need power. Here's how much power a single generator has left. Okay, so it's using 500 to 500. So we've maxed out our generator power. I like this. So once again, this kind of gets into constraints and opportunities. And what I really like, and I'm really glad they made this design choice too, is right up here. If you're not, I like how you're not gonna have to go clicking through a bunch of different stuff to figure out, oh my word, what's wrong. So right here, all right, it's telling us right now what's going on. And what I like is the orange is obviously, it's not good, perhaps, but it's not required to fly. So, okay, we don't have enough energy to power our fuel tanks. Well, that's probably pretty important. But maybe we don't have enough energy to power the water or the water reclamation thing. But maybe we don't need to do that except in an emergency. Whereas not having an exit hatch probably kind of important, so this doesn't turn into a flying space coffin. All right. There you go. Next. So here's the power. Oh, these are just little tiny generator. What is this? Okay. Got it. So we have to connect these powers, I'm guessing. Or maybe I have 500 out 500 but I haven't connected anything yet. Got it. All right, click and hold the mouse button and drag. Got it. So it's got to connect with the. Now, see, this is interesting too because the layout of how you do your power is pretty interesting because you can make. What I love about this is you can make, for example, the most efficient, i.e., using them as few lines as possible, right? Which it's not a bad thing, except then you may not have redundancy. So, for example, this line gets hit right here, and we've lost power to the whole ship, as opposed to, but it's cheaper, but there's no redundancy in it, which is very true to space stuff now, in fact, in terms of design decisions. And I'm not making a judgment call for anybody from Russia that's watching. It's just for one reason or another, the United States tends to add a lot more redundancy into its systems, at least during the initial space race. I can't speak to modern designs. Whereas the Russians did not have as many initially. Um, but, it enabled the Russians to basically get on par with America at a fairly rapid pace and actually surpass America during the initial space rush. So, all right, B2, and then we'll go to B1. Now, let's see how if we can go to a lower level. There we go. Power connection. Core module. Go down. Power connection. Where we're going to put that at. All right. B1. On deck B1. Okay, where's the location? It said it marked the location. There it is. Okay. All right. So I guess, can that be over any line? All right, so technically there's no power going to that now. I don't know if that matters. Got it. So we still have to extend the power lines in order to actually power it. That makes sense. All right. And I guess a lot of this is going to depend on ship design. For example, if you're making a security ship, you probably want more redundancy. Whereas for a space shuttle, maybe not so much, because if it gets in trouble, you'd assume somebody else could perhaps come rescue it, depending on the situation. Some more medium generator. Got it. Tech facilities, medium generator. There's the medium generator room. So have I connected all the power? Don't I need to connect all the power first? Well, let me go ahead and connect all the power. I might have forgot. I might have was supposed to do that and forgot. So hold on. Let me make sure I do that first. All right. So I said I'm just going to worry about so I'm trying to do that. Well, it works. I'm trying to do that a little bit too fast, though. But for my purposes, I'm going to worry about efficiency, not redundancy. And I'll shut up about talking about redundancy. It's just a really important aspect of spaceship design, even in the real world. That's why it fascinates me so much. And it's nice to say, well, just make it as safe as possible. Sounds great in theory, but sometimes that makes costs so expensive that nobody wants to take the risk on a cost risk, as opposed to safety risk. All right. And what is going on there? Oh, right here. All right, so I think that's got us powering the whole ship, or at least having power lines going to the whole ship. Let's go back to B2. We're connected to the power extender, or we need to make a medium generator. Or did we already do that? I think we already did that, right? Yeah, there we go. Medium generator. So now the next step is the cooling. So we need to have a cooling unit so we don't overheat. Oh, interesting. This unit can only be built adjacent to the hull. So this green and yellow, I guess, helps you out, which makes sense because being adjacent to the hull, I mean, the coldness of space is what's going to help you cool the heat. So that makes perfect sense, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm liking that design decision, or that, the decision to incorporate that. Now I got to connect you to the power grid. We already knew to do that, didn't we? All right. All right. And build next to the cooling generator and connect to the power grid. Already done. Corridors and doors. What's it telling us to do now? Or is it just telling it to cooling grid? Cooling hatch. All right. There are. Ooh. Wow, this is a pretty complex game. So I guess it stores all the heat. Oh, that makes sense. So I think we have technology to do this now. So basically, it's going to take the heat. We're going to connect it to the rooms. It's going to take the heat from the rooms and essentially transfer that heat energy. I forget what the proper scientific form, but the heat energy is all going to go to the cooling center, which eventually is going to overheat. It's called cooling, but it's cooling because it's cooling everything else by taking the heat. In order to cool the cooling center, you're going to have to open up this little catch. Whoop, and then that's what's going to allow all the heat in here to kind of basically the space will cool it off and quite rapidly, to be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Just because I like to talk about science stuff too. So cold and hot in terms of how it affects things is less a matter of actual physically feeling the temperature as it is the pressure and what prevents your like if you were to go out in space, your whole body would explode because there's no pressure on you, and that is essentially, well, I'm probably misspeaking a little bit. All right, I won't go down that. I'm going to go down a rabbit's hole on that one, so I'll stay away from it. But space is very, 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 very cold, as well as not having any kind of oxygen. We'll put it that way, or any kind of air or whatsoever, really. All right, now we got to put the power up again, right? Oh, right now I just want to connect. Do we not need power? Yeah, we need power for the hatch. Okay, maybe they told me to do that and I just forgot. Okay, so anywhere with this, we're going to need to connect the cooling. The engine room, obviously, is going to be prone to overheating, I would imagine. Anything else? All right, how do we... Okay, so we've got that solved. Tracking that. So I guess my question is, can we connect it to... No, that's power, right? I'm assuming we're going to do something similar to... What am I doing wrong here? Can we connect it to the power thing? Will it go up if we do that? All right, I like how that they have the visual indicator to indicate whether or not it's working. And then let's see if we do that, if it'll let us bring it in over here. I'm hoping so. Nope. Maybe here? Nope. All right. So, even though it'll probably tell us to do it next, let's see if we can maybe find cooling hatch. Oh, there's a large and a small one. Cool. Well, let's go through this again. Got it. Already did that. Cooling connection. So that's a core module. Okay, some of that might be a little hard to remember, to be honest. But I mean, over time, I'm sure we'll eventually figure it out. Because I would have looked for the cooling connection just under the cooling icon. All right. Now we have our cooling connection. I wonder if that needs power. Bet it does, or maybe not. Okay. Maybe it looks like it's okay. Well, actually, I guess let's find out. We click on it, and it needs no power. So, good to go. Click on our cooling icon again. Oh, yeah. Click on our cooling icon again. And... well, maybe it does need power. I guess we'll find out here momentarily. It's saying right now it's not cooled. Ah. Part of this is me with the drawing mechanic. I'm going too fast, so I just need to slow it down a little bit. All right, well, let me go to power. Let's see if that will help solve this little cooling problem we've got. Nope, that did not solve our cooling problem. Okay, let me see if I can figure it out. Oh, there's not enough cooling for every room. Okay, is that possibly why? But right now there's not enough cooling for any room up here. Let's go back down to B1. Let's check our cooling. How much cooling are we using? Can't really tell. I wonder what that little 1 means. All right. So I'm not sure if I have messed something up or what, because I'm trying to figure out why it did not cool at least some of the ones on the top, because I'm getting the impression it was supposed to. All right, so I've connected the cool thing. Do I need to connect power down here too? I guess it's possible, though that wouldn't really make much sense. All right, so it's not a power issue that I can see. Cooling. So, yes, I'm just trying to figure out why it hasn't cooled any of them. So, maybe I'm just doing something stupid, or maybe it's just not. Maybe it's just an issue that needs to be fixed. Who knows? But we'll move on. So let's go back to cooling units, and wow. So as I said, the one thing I'm just going to drive on with this, but the one thing I would like to figure out is if I am not connecting the lower and upper decks properly, or if it's just there's not enough power. Or, I mean, not enough heating capacity in the original cooling unit. Because on same decks, it obviously works fine. I'm not getting a warm and fuzzy though that. Yeah, see here we're missing power here to this generator room by 1. It looks like I'm not getting a warm and fuzzy that the cooling unit from B deck went up. So let's see. Cooling 0, 10 out of 10. B2. What's this one saying? 45. So that's cooling left. So now I'm curious why we're not cooling this thing. Because I've connected to it, obviously. It needs 100. Oh, it needs 100. At least I'm assuming that's what that means. Well, let's keep going and see what happens. Oh, did I not? Is it because I didn't put a hatch on it, maybe? All right, maybe. So warn us, yeah, missing exit hatch. So anytime you're kind of confused as to what's going on, you can look up here. So we're getting pretty close to being done, it looks like. We're on step 48 of 56. Can't go wrong there. Cooling hatch. Yoink. And needs power. Go back, add some power to it. And voila. Still need an exit hatch, so I'm sure we'll get to that here shortly. Let's see if that fixed our problem, by the way. Nope. For some reason, the generator room still doesn't want to cool down for us. All right. Yeah, I guess that would be important. Build 2 hatches. On deck B1. Okie dokie. Yoink. Yoink. All right, I'm assuming those are hallways. Corridor 1. All right. That's pretty cool. So I guess all this black space right now is just, it's not habitable until you put corridors and stuff in. Place hatches to connect every room on the ship. All too easy. So let's do a hatch. Here we go. And we'll make you be able to go to lift either way. That seems prudent. Alright, water treatment. We don't need to access that from the bridge. Landing gear. We don't need to access that. Cooling. Well, I mean, for emergencies. Well, I'm kind of curious because do you really need to access the cooling? I mean, yes, if it's broken, but we've got two redundant systems, right? And it's just a shuttlecraft. So let's go ahead and connect these ones too. Or hold on, what happened? Oh, I didn't mean to hit next yet. All right, sorry. So connect the lift. Oh, I'm curious. So anything in red do we need to? But we don't need to do these. Okay, so we don't need to connect these two because they're just connecting the top and the bottom. So I'm assuming anything in red needs to be connected, which means I guess we do have to connect the landing gear. I guess the tech room's the cool kids crew. Yeah, see, this is where all the nerds go. That's where we belong, right here in the premium estates. You know, got to walk through the pilot crew, bother them and everything. These are all the jocks right here. We make them sit outside while we keep all the cool stuff in the back here. Put a little private area over here. You know, when we design one, that'll be cool. We won't let the jocks in. Sorry, I'm just being silly. All right, anyways. Hatch. No, I need an exit hatch. Exit hatch. And voila. Now I'm going to need to power it, I'm assuming. Oh, let me go put the... let me put corridors here, though. I'm assuming, as I said, if it's red, it's because it needs a corridor. Or, I mean, it needs a door, yeah, okay. Not a corridor, and we need a hatch. There we go. Yoink, yoink, and yoink. Now we can access the landing gear there. And there. And I suppose... Yeah. No, I guess you need a door on both sides. I mean, I don't know if you could use just one door and a corridor or what. I'm not quite sure. But we can figure that out another time. All right, what was the last thing it said that I needed to do? To connect every room in the ship, did that. Exit hatch, sick bay missing, not enough EEVs, gallery missing, sick bay missing. What about power? Do we have enough power for all these hatches? Did that work out okay? Yeah, it didn't tell us to power up these hatches. How the hatch is going to work? All right. So that's just another little note. Not a huge deal. As I said, part of what I feel I should be doing and like to do for the developers is point out, especially early access indie devs, is, hey, what's some stuff I'm noticing? Because either maybe they missed something because they've been working on it so long. It's kind of like with Einstein in math. You know, most of Einstein's mistakes were addition and subtraction. It's kind of what happens to people sometimes. They get so into the complex stuff they lose sight. Or maybe I'm just being an idiot. I'm perfectly open to that being a reasonable conclusion as well, or reasonable reality as well. But if I see it, I point it out. All right, so power. Because it didn't tell us to do this, or if it did, I missed it. And that would be a good thing to know, because then up here it's not indicating that we've got corridors without power. And a corridor without power is not very useful. Or a door, I should say. A door without power. It's not really going to help us much. There we go. All right. Please extend the power grid to supply all... Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Well, I just told us now, then. So I went off and ran my mouth for nothing. My bad. Hatches need to be on the power grid, but the EEVs don't. Okay, but what I'm loving is it's optional. if you're trying to be the budget provider, the low cost solutions, you know, they don't need escape pods. Just make sure you're hiring expendable people. I'm not actually recommending that as a real life thing, but you know, in a video game, you could. All right, let's see. Emergency escape hatches. There you go. Fine. I guess we'll do that for you. Now we need to build the, let's see, corridors and doors. We need to build hatches again. So yoink and yoink. That's a long way to go, though, to get to the escape hatches if you're on the bridge. Because the bridge is on down here, right? And they gotta they gotta find themselves a lift. Can they even make it there? Oh, I didn't even connect this. Oh, the bridge is cut off from the rest of the ship. I guess I should fix that, perhaps. Oh my word. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, right now the bridge couldn't. They're just stuck here all by their little lonesomes. We'll make them walk through the water tank to get there, I guess. So they still got to go a ways, get to the lift, go all the way back. So yeah, the bridge crew's gonna have some trouble making it. I'm thinking if they're in some serious escape pod trouble. Let's give it some power. Yoink. And voila! Oh, what'd I do? No. Okay, good to go. Sweet. Storage, okay, well, we did that. Do I need to power it still, or did I do that already? Oh, I still need to do that. So hit the power button. My yoink. So the doors need to be powered. These don't. We've got the corridor. So next. Still need more? No, it says it's okay. It says EV count okay. Too optional, but too few EEVs have, understandably, a negative effect on morale. That's why you just you hire those that really, really need that job. Tell them go for it. No, as I said, funny in video games, not funny in real life. Is it fully functional? No, it's not yet. Well, I guess it is, kind of. Hold on. I mean, it was close enough, right? It said we needed to do something else, but... Oh, did I not put the EEV in the right spot? Is that what I did? Or did it want us to do another one? We have 10. 10, 10. Oh, we have a crew of 11. Got it. Or maximum of 11. So put that EEV right here. And then where did the... Storage? No. Quarters? Yes. Hatch. And voila. And then let's power that bad boy up. Yoink. I'm liking this so far. And it was this one. So let's see. Galley missing. We don't need a galley. Sick bay. If they get sick, I'm thinking we can put it. We'll have a medic for emergencies, but they can hit a sick bay when they hit an actual, real spaceship. Crew management. All right. Export. Boink. So we can save it. Not enough cooling. Yeah, we never did solve that problem, did we? No. Integrity check offline. It's offline right now, I guess. Okay. Do we need to solve the cooling problem? Probably, because it is a problem in our generator room, if I recall correctly. So can I just place another cooling? That might be the easiest way to do this. Hopefully we'll have enough room to figure this out. So as I said, the one thing I have not figured out yet is how to, I put the little cool thing there, I connected the cooling, and I tried to connect the power. And I'm not understanding why the coolant never went back up here to help cool number one until I made this other cooling thing. And I don't know what that number one there is supposed to signify. Oh, did I not put the hatch down right? I thought I did. Yeah, I did. Cool. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that's the external hatch. All right. And then if we go click on this thing. Yeah, hopefully we'll figure it out. But for right now, let me see if I can pull another cooling thing. Core module. Can I find it? Let's find out. Cooling connection, no. Oh! Up and down, maybe? Interesting. Is that what it is? Cool. Okay, hold on. Did I just figure this out? All right, so power connection, up, down, up. I don't know what this up and down means, so this would be beneficial to kind of have an understanding of. I'm assuming up means it goes up, which, okay, we did do that. All right, so cooling. Still not enough coolant over there. All right, never mind. But I guess this is how you basically, if you're going to place the original on the top deck, you do it like that. Bottom deck, you do it, or the lower deck, then where you're placing it, you do it like that. O2, not giving us an option. So I guess maybe these aren't done yet. I might still be working on those, which, as I said, is perfectly reasonable. It's not just early access; it's early access. And quite frankly, I've seen far less complete games show up on Steam in early access. So this is still pretty cool. But now I gotta remember where to. Cooling unit. There we go. I just need a small one. Give me a small. All right, cooling unit. Will I be able to make room for one, or is it not gonna let? Oh, is it not gonna let me place? All right. I don't know why it's not letting me place it though. Okay, well, let's just keep. Let's see if we can conclude this thing. What? No, not that. That. We'll export it, even though it's not enough cooling. Yeah, let's go anyways. Yes. Ship class. Proto shuttle. Its generator doesn't have coolant and will blow up and overheat on a regular basis. Here we go. Oh, can I not put in little space things? Okay. Da, da, da. Yes. Proto shuttle. There we go. Hopefully that'll work this time. There we go. Cool. What next? All right, so I'm going to assume that's the end of the tutorial. My old recommendation is, if it is the end of the tutorial, it's probably should make it clear, but not a big deal. As I said, I don't mention these things to gripe. It's not, it's in development. And bringing it up is called constructive criticism to help the developer take the recommendations or leave them. So let's see how we get back to the main event. A new project, save. Okay, a new project. All right, so small attack craft. I'm going to try and do one quick, maybe, just to see. Well, first, let's go. How do we get out of? What else can we do? So we've designed it. Well, I want to practice here. Small attack craft. Let's design it. Just kind of. I might not do this a lot. Preparing design. Oh, but it's the same shell. Interesting. All right. So I guess you're going to have to research different upgrades, would be my assumption. So, project, total asset. Okay, project, new project. Yeah, new project. Oh, we can pick these different. Oh, got it. Okay, I got to pick it over here. Okay, so he's going to update and make those available. Planetary transport, shuttle, multi-purpose transport. So I'm not. Well, I might do it later. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll bring this up real quick. So let's look at the options for another design. So design a project. So I'm not going to try and build a functional ship, but let's walk through some of the other stuff that we didn't look at. So obviously we had our core modules, which we're probably going to be using most, if not all the time. Though sensor room we didn't use. They got armor points for combat craft. Tech facilities to different generators, coolers. Obviously there's a shield generator, which we didn't use last time. Cooling units, storage, air tank. Here's all the different storage tanks. Hangar bays for, I guess, you could put shuttles in for the larger craft, I would assume. Different crew quarters, small, medium, and large. Military quarters, I'm assuming, for boarding and stuff. Captain's quarters. Oh, nice. All right, that's going to be fun. And as you can see, I really like, too, so the different designs are going to have different deck sizes. Here you have to cook. So this could, be the bridge, or maybe you'll just put the captain's quarters up there, a la the Normandy 2 from Mass Effect. So that's obviously going to be your design choice. Quarters and doors, missile hatches for the missiles. So the cannon hatches. So you're gonna have to put the hatches for them to open up out of. Sick bays, water treatment, life support, military options, armory, missile control, cannon, missile bay. So a lot of different ways to make ships, and this is all the basic ship design that's going to feed into you designing ships to be part of a corporation. Now let's see if we can get back to the main screen, because I think there was another option out there, if I recall correctly. No. Let's exit and see. I'm going to come back into this. Hold on. And I'll fill that out later, but that's my first time playing, so I'm not going to have a lot of feedback, obviously. Oh, one thing too, I had to run this. So if you do go to the site and download it from the free kind of demo site, you have to run it as administrator. So that's another thing. It took me a little bit. I was like, well, why isn't this working? It kept not starting on me, and I realized, oh, run as administrator. So it didn't take me long to troubleshoot. But somebody who doesn't know, especially if they're not too familiar with Windows, they might have some trouble with that. So just a heads up on that too, to the dev and anybody who's watching that wants to get it working and having some trouble. All right, Coronado Games. So here's all the changelog. As you can see, they've been updating the game. I'm assuming that they're going to keep doing that. They've been working on this game for years, so I don't know the developers well. I don't have a lot of experience to give with them yet to give any predictions. But the fact that they've been working on it for years and made it on Steam after working on it for years is good. And I think it would be silly for them to put that much effort into a project and then let it go, especially one with as much potential as this. So, but that's I don't know them at all. Or know their history. So I tried to do a little bit of research. So I said, I don't know that for good or bad. Just I don't know enough to make an opinion other than to say I do know they've been working on this for years. Okay, so we'll do that. Load ship class, new mission. Let's see what we're gonna do. Asteroid field? No, these. Oh, so these are gonna be like little mission things for tests. Now I don't know if there's gonna be a campaign or a broad thing. I hope there is. I really hope that there's like a start. Like for me, the ideal part of this game, if it worked out the way I would want it to, would be you start off as a small company, compete with other companies as the universe expanded, in technology expanded, and then you maybe would run into aliens. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the I'm not the designer, but as it expanded, different opportunities, threats, and stuff will come up. And part of the design process may be testing out your new product in like simulated environments or low risk environments before going out on actual missions. But then hopefully there'll be actual stuff to do, just being a successful corporation. So, anyways, with that being said, let's load our ship. Proto shuttle. Got that one saved, so we'll go ahead and load our proto shuttle. All right. So, oh, I see. So it is right. So I guess we do this stuff to get it rated, and then as it gets rated, I'm assuming we'll be able to sell the ship, or I'm not sure if we use the ship ourselves or sell the ship. That's another thing. I think it'd be cool for both to be an option. You could just be a pure manufacturer, or you could be an operator. And in fact, it would be kind of interesting to be just an operator that buys ships from other companies. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, it's up to the developer to figure out the scope. I don't want to, because they need to keep the scope within reason too, I guess. So, anyways, all right. So let's do just a standard operation. That works. And pilots, I guess you can take some people out if you want. Oh, and the fewer you have, the, I guess, less points you get. 65 points a minute. These are the bad points, I guess. Well, let's just go and see what happens. Right now, I'll just keep it with everything.
All systems online.
Cool. All right, let's see how this goes. Start mission. All right, we're flying. Here's our mission time, mission rating. All right, this is what I like. So depending on what your ship's supposed to do, different consumer groups were rated differently. So obviously, if you're, I don't think a military consumer is going to be that excited about an unarmored transport. They might need it for some stuff. You kind of get what I'm saying. So I like how you're going to have to fit to your audience. If I were doing this, if this were the real game, I'd pick one probably military, just because it'd be the most interesting to me, but it doesn't really matter. But whatever you pick, I would recommend specializing, most likely, initially at least, until you get better. And that's with the assumption that the tech trees will work out, where that makes sense, obviously. Okay, let's speed it up. Double time limits. Now time is moving fast. Transport, standard operation, messages. What are messages saying? It says one, but it says none. So not quite sure what those mean. I'm not sure how in depth this is right now. Like if we're supposed to be doing stuff, or it just kind of flies and stuff happens. I do think this is just like a space cruise, like so. I.e., just does it fly in space for 10